Right.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Factutainment. I'm Zurieti, and today I'm joined by Avery,
Hello.
not in Gyarados form this time, and Beth,
Fuck you.
who's not a Meowth right now. Or they could be. Meowth can speak
Don't know
English.
that. You can't see me.
uh, but yeah, we did a whole series where we talked about the original Walking with Dinosaurs, and as well as Big Al. And then we're also probably going to work our way through Walking with Beasts, Walking with Monsters, maybe some of the other ones like Chased by Dinosaurs or Prehistoric Park. But we also did this in preparation of the 2025 Walking with Dinosaurs revival, which came
It's a
out,
revival. Why are they all still dead?
which they all came out in the UK this past week. So, knowing someone from the UK and also having a VPN, we were able to watch the first episode, The Orphan, and we're going to give our thoughts on it. So,
Yeah. Right. Honestly, to start, this felt like it was quite padded out by
Yeah,
scenes.
if you hit mute on the sound thing, you can probably skip between scenes. There you go. Yeah, this one has people in it,
yeah.
and I have to wonder. I have to wonder how scripted all this shit was. If these were just actual people they filmed on while doing their job, or if this was like staged.
I'm 9% sure these are actual paleontologists, but it was staged.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Orphan takes place in the end of the Cretaceous in Laramidia, which is now West North America and Montana, and
Montana, yeah.
covers the story of a. Here it is.
Over.
Clover. I was just pulling up this young Triceratops. So, or
Elon Musk.
so Clover is a real specimen of Triceratops. Although, of course, all I'm getting is the
It is a
walking with.
Pokemon.
So yeah, this is in the episode Clover the Triceratops. It's a orphan. Called the Orphan. It's an orphan Triceratops, but it's based off of a real fossil, which I can't pull up thanks to the Walking with Dinosaurs revival. Because every time I type in Clover Triceratops fossil, all I'm getting is this. So we'll just go with that for right now. And the entire episode takes the entire plot of the episode is following Clover as they try to survive late Cretaceous Montana while consistently being hunted by an asshole T-Rex. And who I understand they probably just wanted to make one model, but they like had this T-Rex try and fail to kill Clover like 3 times. You couldn't have done like
They talk about how
a different T-Rex.
they talk a lot about how T-Rex is too fat, and if it runs too fast, it'll break its fucking legs.
Yeah. So yeah, there's
Fat!
it's
Can't run
also like
fast.
there were other carnivorous dinosaurs in the Hell Creek Formation you could have used instead of to replace one of the T-Rex attempts at killing it. There was Dakota Raptor. You could have done that. You could have had the Asdarkid actually try to kill it. There is an Asdarkid. I forget what they call it. Sorry, it's loading.
And then there's the thing at the beginning. that.
Yeah, that has darkened.
Yeah, when that thing first shows up, it shows it like just standing on its hind legs with its or standing on all fours with its wings down and stuff, and it's like incredibly thin. And we had an incident with a deer like earlier this week. It was sort of like that, where the deer was standing straight on from where we were looking, so we could barely see it. Like it looked like a line.
Yeah, so it's this guy.
Yeah, and this scene starts with the baby Triceratops fucking around with this thing's eggs.
Yeah, it finds the nest and just kind of runs over and starts rolling one of its eggs out of it towards the creek. Which I guess props for showing an Asdarkid that's not just trying to kill things. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
It would have been a short episode.
Well, I guess it did try to kill it briefly.
Like pecked at it to get it away from the egg.
Multiple times, yeah. 1 second. It's an Inferno Dracon. And type in anti.
If you type the word anti. Yeah.
All right. So this is the Asdarkid in this is called Inferno Dracon, which I did not recognize. Mostly because I just never heard of it. It is also apparently known from a neck vertebrae, so.
It did certainly look infernal. I guess it wasn't the only infernal looking thing in this episode.
Yeah. I guess let's finish summarizing the plot real fast before we get into it with our big nitpicks. This is apparently what Inferno Dracon is known from.
Apparently it had a bone stuck in its throat.
A single... Okay.
Which, to be fair, for pterosaurs, that's usually the remains you find of pterosaurs, because their bones are made of paper mache. They are so thin. They are so hollow.
It was born with glass bones and paper skin.
Bone inside.
What?
So yeah, this is a fucking pterosaur bone, just for comparison.
Fiberglass.
Yeah. It's fucking. It's like fuck. I mentioned paper mache. It's that. It's all air. It is fucking ridiculous. Compare that to like regular bone inside.
Ideally, you're not supposed to look inside your bones.
So this is what a mammalian bone looks like on the inside. And this is what a pterosaur bone looks like on the inside. It's insane. Anyway. So there's Inferno Dracon.
In the
Go ahead.
I want to state the way the scene transitions work in this. It's like they'll tease the addition of another dinosaur, then it will cut back to the dig site with the people digging at the fossils for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then cut back to the dinosaurs. Like, I have to imagine this was like them saving money on animation.
Yeah, I will say, like, apparently, I thought these were 30-minute episodes. Apparently, the whole total runtime is closer to 49 minutes. Over half of that is probably them digging.
Yeah, it did feel like they were very much kind of filling out for time, so they didn't have to do as much CGI.
Which, to be fair, we haven't reviewed it, but when Dinosaurs Roamed America does cutaways to paleontologists and digging, those are usually less than 5 minutes long. Um, this is like as long, if not longer, than the dinosaur segment. Anyway,
What was that one guy's name? It might say it on the wiki. Something knife. I need to see how they spelled it.
they don't list him.
Even the wiki doesn't like the archaeologist. I swear to God, the narrator said knife with pronouncing the K.
Anyway, so basically the episode starts with Clover wandering across the river and then coming across these eggs and then playing with one of them, basically trying to push it into the stream until the nest owner, the Inferno Dracon, which is the pterosaur, come in, they descend, and they kind of like peck at Clover to scare her off, and they pick her egg up and puts it back in the nest. Clover then hides as we cut to a paleontological segment where they go over Clover is like a baby Triceratops that they found, and they start giving a bunch of information on that. And then like information on the scientists themselves, and kind of they know it's a young because the teeth aren't really worn down. And they cut back to a T-Rex, which they show. Well, okay, I'm just going through the panel. Apparently,
like
the episode
walking.
The episode starts with the paleontologists. They find the bones of Clover. We see Clover. Cuts back to paleontologists talking about the teeth. Goes back. Cuts back to Clover with the nest. We see that go down. Cuts back to paleontologists. So we're at the 10-minute mark. We've had 3 segments of paleontologists.
Yeah.
Cuts back to Clover. So Clover's hiding. And then we have a T-Rex approach. And as it's approaching, like giving the overview information on T-Rex, the camera is shaking. And like it's supposed to be like this massive creature. Apparently, no one can hear that or feel that because it's able to stealthily sneak up on the Inferno Dracon, kill it, and eat it.
Yeah, you had the cursor on the scene.
Yeah, this was in the trailer.
Right there.
Very unobservant pterosaur.
Like Clover's able to see this. Apparently, not
pause
this.
It, pause here. Pause it.
One second.
Well, so we don't get like copyright claims or anything.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, this is it. It talks about how the thing has shock absorbers in its feet.
Yeah.
So it can just stealthily walk up. Huh?
It's able to get within strike range of a pterosaur without the pterosaur seeing it or hearing it.
Anyway. I'd like to talk to you about your extended warranty.
I'm not too worried about this because this was in all of the trailers. So anyway, then Clover, after like they took place, then the Inferno Dracon is killed and eaten by the T-Rex. This one T-Rex makes multiple appearances, despite them saying this area is riddled with T-Rexes. It's the same T-Rex every time. You could tell because of the scars on its neck.
Serial killer.
Then we could do another cutaway to scientists exploring around, and they find like an adult Triceratops horn. And then they find
Triceratops horn.
There's a bull Triceratops that Clover comes across. It gets back to Clover. Clover encounters a bull Triceratops, wakes him up. The bull Triceratops doesn't really care and just kind of heads off on his own. And instead of Clover following him, she also heads off on her own.
For some reason.
Then they have a whole segment of
because we found another fossil.
Yeah. And they go over the brain of T-Rex, which was kind of a neat segment.
Pull up the I'm pretty sure Bad Dragon sold one of these.
This is based off of, there's actually a T-Rex Endocast. That was done because they actually found the brain of a T-Rex.
Well,
So
kinda.
no, they did. Well, they back in the day there was a very fragmentary specimen of like a T-Rex skull, but it included the brain, like a preserved most of the brain. And so, kind of what they did
Mhm.
was they kind of just chipped away the rest of the skull and kept that as fragments in a drawer, then just had the brain. Which maybe don't do that, but it's like I guess if your skull is really badly damaged but the brain's intact, you might as well use the brain. Um,
Might as well
That's why
try.
I'm an organ donor.
anyway, so they give a segment about that, and they really tell they do go through the motions of they talk about how it had a really good olfactory sense of smell, uh, and they talk about how it had pretty good vision, especially night vision, and they go out of their way to kind of mention the whole it's the Jurassic Park scene of like T-Rex can't see if you don't move, um, which some like in depth about that. The
Yeah,
reason that's a thing in the movie is that was a thing in the novel, and the novel specifically explains that that's not how dinosaurs usually were. That was a specific byproduct of them being spliced with frog DNA, because that's how some frogs' vision works. And I get why they didn't keep all of that like not it's not backstory, what do you call it when it's like exposition when they did it to the film, and they just had like Grant be like, you can't see if you don't move, because it's a really important scene for the movie, but you didn't really have the previous scenes with all of the explanation of it. Um, but yeah, that's a kind of a popular trope that now, because of the movie, scientists kind of have to like paleontologists have to be like, now T-Rex could probably see you if even if you didn't move. Uh,
Sigh, put down flask. And they also talk about how T-Rex doesn't really run that fast, so wouldn't be chasing jeeps.
yeah, which, to be fair, when you reach that size and you're a bipedal animal, you kind of have to move fairly slow. Um,
So yeah, you can tell it's nighttime because the sky is bright blue.
yep. And Clover's outside at night eating, which, yeah, especially young herbivores eat a lot of food. But then the T Rex
The T-Rex,
chases.
T-Rex
Yeah.
yeah, chases it into a cave and gets its head stuck.
Yep. As the T Rex chases it to a cave, Clover heads to the back of the cave. The T Rex gives up and leaves. It's the same T Rex again. Uh, then you have another segment of scientists. This time they're doing a kind of a cool thing where they have like a drone and they do like a laser scan of the area to try and find fossils, which is kind of cool. And then they go over several bones of some T Rex they found. And then they
Oh,
find then the bones of an Edmontosaurus. And then we have the design of the Edmontosaurus. So Clover hears them outside,
oh,
and you see them from
you need to
down
you need to
below.
move forward a few seconds so you can see the thing's face facing down.
Yeah.
And I got the first one. When this thing showed up, it took me a second for my brain to register what I was looking at, and it sort of gave me a fucking panic because it's like it looks like Max Rebo combined with Aooni. But why are they fucking blue?
I don't know, but I give them props that at least it's not dull brown or green. So in Montosaurus, they kind of do something. They show it as like sexual dimorphism in the Edmontosaurus. But they have some of the Edmontosaurus have this crest on their heads, and some of them don't. And I think they're doing that as sexual dimorphism. We have evidence that there were species of Edmontosaurus that had crests and species that didn't. We don't
It's like star-bellied
believe
sneeches.
we don't believe that that was a like sexual dimorphism. We believe that was just a distinct thing between the two species. So Edmontosaurus is a large hadrosaur that lived throughout North America, from like down to Colorado all the way up to Alaska. It's known from remarkably well preserved individuals. We have several mummies of Edmontosaurus.
The other thing that got me about these is their beaks make it look like they have mustaches.
Yeah. So there's two species that are considered valid. There's E. regalis and there's E. annectens. And I believe the one in Hell Creek, and I'll have to look that up. Edmontosaurus annectens. I believe the one in Hell Creek is annectens, not regalis. And annectens didn't have the fleshy like crest. And I believe regalis did. So maybe a slight inaccuracy. I think it's kind of cool that they showed there was like two forms, even though this
someone got fired for that blunder.
Wouldn't have lived at the same time. Basically, Clover befriends the Edmontosaurus herd until tragedy.
And the baby.
There's a baby.
Yeah, Aura wasn't here for the baby murder.
For once, yeah.
Yeah, there's a segment where they bump heads and it's cute.
It was kind of cute.
And so then we cut to another segment with paleontologists. This one they're talking about T-Rex again, and they talk about how a human could outrun a T-Rex. Probably not for very long. Because one, yeah, the max speed of a human is probably higher than a T-Rex. We also a lot of us get winded much faster. Also, remember the T-Rex is walking this entire time while we're running.
Was that one thing? Was that one thing you said once about how you could run at max speed for half an hour and then die?
If you like were able to ignore all of the physiological signals of your body, like all of your muscle strain and fatigue, you could, in theory, run like at max speed for like an hour. You'd probably kill yourself doing that because it'd put so much strain on your body.
And I could try that.
So that's the reason why you usually can't do that.
This tiny baby with a full-grown adult mustache.
But yeah, they're shown having their classic duck bill, which is why they're called duck-bill dinosaurs, which is their beak.
Omni-Man.
And then it's also I'm just gonna say the design of Clover in this episode is pretty good. For a baby Triceratops, they didn't look like just tiny versions of the adults. They had very small horns, very small, comparatively small frills that would grow larger as the animal grew larger. Then they do more. They did the paleontological segment with T-Rex, the bones, and then they go back to the dinosaur segment. This is a long paleontological segment.
Oh, the poop. Was that the poop part?
Oh yeah, there was the poop section of.
Oh, I know. Light, where they kept making all the jokes for us.
No, that's after this one. But there's so many paleontological segments. Okay. It gets back to the Edmontosaurus herd, and they end up having to deal with a T-Rex. And
That's
then,
right, because they're sleeping.
wait,
They're all
no,
sleeping together. The T-Rex sneaks up on them again while they're sleeping.
I keep getting this wrong because I keep underestimating how many paleontological segments there are. I keep forgetting. So it cuts to a paleontological segment talking about T-Rex. Then it cuts back
Oh, right.
to the
T-Rex
dinosaur
stalking them while they're
herd.
sleeping.
Yeah. Then it cuts back to another paleontological segment. Then it cuts back to the dinosaur herd. And then the Edmontosaurus are shown they wake up. They kind of fight. They kind of like are roaring at each other to like try and scare off the T-Rex. But eventually the Edmontosaurus panic and flee. And then Clover and the baby Edmontosaurus are stuck at a log that's taller than they are. Clover goes around while the other baby Edmontosaurus just stays there and then dies because the T-Rex eats it. And then it cuts to the poop paleontological segment.
Talking about how much T-Rex loves eating babies.
And
That's what it's like in Pokemon when you can't get over that ledge. That's what it's like. All the other dinosaurs just sort of jump over it, but the babies get stuck behind it like a couple of idiots.
So then you have the in-depth coprolite analysis. The coprolites are fossilized poop. And then
Where they make all the jokes for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they cut back to Clover, who is being hunted by the same T-Rex again.
Even though she is now much older, still the same T-Rex.
And then she encounters the old bull Triceratops as she's being chased that she met earlier in the episode. And then the old bull kind of has
for
like
some reason.
Good.
Well, for some reason, she doesn't go with the Edmontosaurus herd.
Yeah, she just leaves. Yeah, once her friend dies, apparently she just is like, well, time to be on my own again.
Just rip.
And the thing is, this entire episode, every time they show like the threat of the T-Rex, they're like, is this going to be the end for Clover? Except for, and like, I guess spoilers, we know it's not the end for Clover because we have the fossil of Clover, and if she was eaten by a T-Rex, we wouldn't have the fossil of Clover.
We poop.
This is giving me like fucking Bambi, like 2 flashbacks. It's like, is Bambi going to die in this midquel? No, he's not. Anyway, so we get to where there's going to be a face-off between the old bull Triceratops and there's going to be the T-Rex. And then we cut to another paleontological segment, which I don't mind, but why are there so many?
That's right, because they leave it on a cliffhanger.
And so then they cut to a
And the worst
paleontological
part
segment.
about that, this is a BBC show. There aren't any ads. There aren't like ad breaks to put a cliffhanger. There's no reason for it.
Really? They don't have those?
Yeah, no, the BBC is completely advertisement free.
Oh, okay, it's just the BBC then. Okay.
So then we
That's
cut to
why we have a TV license. Is we're paying for the BBC.
So we cut to a paleontological segment where they talk about a lot of the Triceratops' like frill is riddled with blood vessels, which we believe that's so they could flush it with blood and change the color of it and like make it more a visual display. And they do a cool scene where they have it basically have eye spots. Which is a neat patterning. It makes it so it's not just this boring greenish gray design.
Yeah.
So then the T-Rex and the old bull fight.
And then it cuts away again.
Yeah. And the old bull damages the leg of the T-Rex. So then the T-Rex is like
Like,
going to go
Scraping
after
the horn.
easier prey. So it starts looking like it's going to go after Clover. And then it cuts away to another paleontological segment where they basically
Oh, we
say,
have no idea how it died.
yeah, they basically say, we have no idea how it died, but probably wasn't eaten by a T-Rex. And then they kind of just pack everything in some cars and drive away.
So then why did you say that, narrator?
And then it cuts to
Why would
Clover.
you lie to us?
Then it cuts to Clover doing serpentine on the T-Rex to avoid being eaten
We're
by it.
serpentine. God damn it!
And then it cuts to the old bull
Bull
impaling the T-Rex, which is good. Like, I like that because most paleontological documentaries, almost all the time, the T-Rex kills the Triceratops. It's neat that in this one, the Triceratops kills the T-Rex. Props for that. But then it's like, after doing all of that and saving Clover, oh, so the old bull does get injured because he gets bitten on its like fro. Then he just leaves. And then eventually Clover's like, oh, I'm actually going to follow someone for the first time. And then follows him. And then it cuts to the coming soon for the next preview of the next episode.
Yeah.
So I do like the Clover's like, you have proven yourself worthy. I will follow you now.
I don't want you. Go away.
Okay. So, what are your guys' overall thoughts of the
Considering
episode?
how were these all relatively in the same area? These fossils that we're looking at.
They're all from the Hell Creek Formation, yes.
Yeah.
Which would mean that she still died as a young dinosaur.
Yeah.
And then the Triceratops fucked up. The bull fucked up somewhere else.
Or also died.
In some order. Oh, he's still alive. In fact, he's joining the call right now.
Did someone join the call? No, okay.
No.
Anyway, what are your thoughts, Avery? What are some of your thoughts?
I'm not sure how fond I am of all of the kind of interludes of people, because that wasn't really something that was really in the original at all, really.
It's jarring.
Yeah, they really saved the paleontological segments for like the making of behind the scenes document episode.
Yeah, but I think apart from that, this CG looks like certainly serviceable and it's not nearly as inaccurate as obviously the old series, just because it's obviously a bit more up to date. Not perfect by any means, but
yeah, Stig was describing this before the episode started. He said, "Oh, the people were saying, oh, the CG's bad when they're moving or whatever, but like, look fine to me. Like we sat through the original Walking with Dinosaurs. This is fine."
Yeah, it's completely serviceable. Yeah, but that's my kind of overall thoughts, to be honest with you.
I am going to say something. I don't know if any of you guys remember. There was a documentary called. So it's got two different names. There's Dinosaur Revolution and Dinotasia.
Revolution.
It came out in like the early 2000s or like the 2010s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an episode of Dino Revolution that takes place in late Cretaceous period of Mongolia, and it follows. I'm trying to remember, like, when did Dinosaur Revolution come out? Dinosaur Revolution.
Books.
2011. Okay, so it's 2011 series. So about 14 years ago. There's an episode of Dinosaur Revolution where an orphaned baby Protoceratops explores around Mongolia.
Interesting.
And likewise,
Protoceratops runs into them filming a music video for The Who.
So likewise, there's it wanders around and deals with some threats of various predators, including Velociraptor. It meets some other herbivores, I think, like Prinocephaly. And it meets an old bull Protoceratops who ends up taking care of it and looking after it.
I believe
Until
they plagiarize history like this.
until the end of the episode, where there's more Protoceratops to meet, and the baby goes and lives with them, while the old bull goes to a graveyard that's like an elephant graveyard, but for Protoceratops.
Nice.
And yeah, it's kind of really hinted that like this is where he's going to die.
Boy, kid, I'm trying to die.
I bring that up because of you can kind of guess the similarities.
Yes. Yeah.
That Protoceratops model, is that like really shrink wrapped? It looks scrawny as hell.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
That yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not allowed. Apparently.
The adult model is a little less shrink wrapped. This is the old bull Protoceratops. The entire time I was watching this episode of Walking with Dinosaurs, my mind kept being like, I've seen this plot before.
Hey, I've seen this one before.
Like, it's obviously not a 1-to-1, but
it's pretty fucking close.
like, there's even a segment where the old bull Protoceratops fights and kills some velociraptors to save the orphan. Similar.
It's like the kid was in trouble, so he brought the predator to the old bull. It's like, okay, it's your problem now, old man.
But yeah, I guess general thoughts on this first episode of the Walking with Dinosaurs revival.
I mean, I guess I don't have much to compare it to yet, since we haven't watched any more episodes. But there's not a lot of a lot of the actual dinosaur part.
Yes, and my only real thing is that all
to compare it to the original.
All of the little interludes, I'm not that a fan of, to be honest. I'm here to see dinosaurs. The narrator can explain. Keep the dinosaurs on screen.
Okay, Wiki. Okay, Wiki. You said animals featured are Cryodracon, Utahraptor, Pachyrhinosaurus, Torvosaurus. Okay, Wiki. I don't think those count if they were in the bonus, like, coming soon segment of the episode as animals in the episode.
They were technically there. It didn't count the synapsins either. Paleontologist Kevin Knife or whatever.
Yep. Okay. So, any other thoughts, like comparing it to the first series, maybe?
I hope they improve.
Yeah, I think it also did feel quite condensed, just because they spent so much time with the humans.
Yeah, because the original Walking with Dinosaurs episodes were, 30 minutes long?
Yeah, but that was all just dinosaurs.
All dinosaurs all the time.
Well, that's what I was saying. I actually check because I have the videos on my computer. 1 second. So the original Walking with Dinosaurs episodes are 29 minutes long. This episode is 49 minutes long, but there's less footage. There's less runtime of the dinosaurs in that episode than the original series.
The very almost scripted dialogue with the paleontologist didn't help much.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we will see if it gets better than this, I suppose.
Yep. Also, I guess like we can compare. Well, part of me wants to compare this to the final episode of the original trilogy because that's the one with T-Rex, Death of Dynasty.
Yeah.
But this is also
Fuck
the
Dynasty.
first episode. So this is the introduction episode. So I also kind of want to compare it to New Blood.
Yeah, it doesn't help that they've done
We
the
gotta-
thing where for some reason it's not in order like the original was for some reason.
We got to put the big names first to get the pea brains interested.
I guess.
Well, I guess overall, what would you rank this episode?
Ooh.
2.
Yeah. 3 would be kind of
We
pushing
probably
it.
should have. Are all the episodes out?
Yes.
Yeah, we've probably put together a tier list for next recording.
Well, 1 second. All right. So this is
Don't
our
look at the tabs. You didn't see anything change.
this is our episode. This is our ranking. Now it doesn't have the it doesn't have the new episodes to rank, so we'll have to add those later. But in general, what are our thoughts on where would we put this episode?
Honestly,
Probably a C.
C.
Yeah. Like, it is so incredibly basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you might do is, given you have to have an account to make one of these tier lists, that means it's usually done with Twitter or Facebook, and I've done this with tier list once. You could message the person who made this tier list and ask them to put the new episode title cards in.
Maybe.
Assuming they still have access to this account.
I guess
I
I'll
did that
also
with the like Pokemon tier list.
walking with. There also might be a tier list already with them on it.
Walking in Memphis.
That's why that's The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm not seeing one that's got more entries.
Oh well. We'll just have to-
How long ago did these episodes come out?
Literally a couple days.
Yeah, it probably hasn't been long enough for the fanatics to get here.
Okay. So the first episode, The Orphan, will go in C tier when I edit this.
C.
Okay. Well, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think I've said my piece.
Paleontologists, get the fuck out.
So that has the same energy as the mooning. Shut up. Bye.